Hi there. Thanks for joining me. Go ahead and grab a yoga block and a cushion if you have one, and we'll get started. We're going to begin with a very kind of calming meditation. So get organized on your block and face your palms upward and just take a moment to connect inward. See if you can find your breath. Notice if you can sense what's going on in the environment around you. What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you feel? Notice what parts of your body are connected to the ground. Notice what feels heavy and what feels light. And make space for silence. And then just gently open your eyes and let's begin just waking up the skin on our thighs with a gentle rubbing motion back and forth, feeling that connection and the friction of warmth between your hands and your legs, and then take it to the outside. Just gently rubbing, giving yourself a little bit of just contact and massage, noticing how easy it can be to form a connection hand to body, and then take it up to your arms, waking up the top side of your arms and the underside of your arms. And a little bit of patting, take it up into your neck and across the top of your trap, down to your wrist and back up. And just do a few of those, just saying to yourself, hello, I am here, checking in. And switch sides, start with a bit of rubbing, some friction. And switch it to the underside. And take it into some tapping. Make sure you get up into your neck. And all the way down your wrist. And let's do a little bit of tapping on our chest. Waking up our sternum and those upper ribs. And go ahead and rub your hands together. Feeling that warmth, and just brush your hands across your head and flick your fingers again. Rub and rinse or wash your hair, and just do a few of those. You can add the flicking in if you want. Just make it your own. Just getting some hand to body connection, and then a little bit of a shakeout to notice that your spine has to stay relaxed and supported so that your hands and wrists can move freely. Just take it wherever it feels good, wherever some energy needs to dissipate. It certainly does not need to be symmetrical. And then just pause. And let's remove our block and our cushion and really gracefully flip yourself over to all fours. And we'll start with a little bit of padding with our shins and the tops of our feet connecting to the mat. A little bit of a flutter kick, waking up that front line of the body. And then tuck those toes under and see if you can wake up the arches of your feet and pat around there for a minute. Just make it your own. Find what feels best to you. You could alternate between the extended toes and the flexed toes. And just try and keep your entire spine relaxed, and then tuck your toes under for me, and let's take it into a little bit of rocking. So rocking back and forth like a baby getting ready to crawl. So keeping your spine nice and relaxed, leading with your head and tail and head and tail and head and tail. And just keep that going for as long as you would like. And then take it into a circle, still keeping those contact points of your hands, knees, and toes. And keeping the entire spine organized, and then take it in the other direction. So your backside is still like a nice kind of serving platter, and you're just taking it around in a bit of a circular pathway. And now we're going to add some spiral to it. So circling the spine, organizing from the tippy top of the head all the way through the tailbone. So it's a bit like a cat-cow, but it's got a little more movement to it because you're getting some side bending as well. Just play with it and take it in the other direction, spiraling around, feeling the lift through the belly and then the softening. And keeping those contact points on the mat. And then just relax out of it and take it into a basic cat-cow. So go ahead and arch. And then as you move back into cat, make it more about your lower spine, your tail curving under, and not so much your upper back. Chances are your upper back gets lots of curvature during the day. Make it about your lower back curving and hollowing. And then just stretch your shape out just a little bit. Feel supported gently, but still nice and calm through the front of your abdomen. You can tuck your toes or leave them extended. And we're just going to take a little bit of a push-pull through the shoulder blades. So getting a little bit of widening of the shoulder blades on the back, and then a little bit of retraction. And then after you've had a play around there, just bring it into a really gentle push-up. You can keep it on your knees, and you can take the range of motion in a way that suits you. You can take it just tiny, 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 or all the way down, making sure that there's still really good continuity from the tippy top of your head to the very end of your tailbone. Just see how easy you can make it. And then find your cushion and support your head and roll to one side. Get nice and cozy and fold your legs in. And then we're just going to take that top leg and float it up, maybe for like 6 to 8. I'm not too fussy about repetitions. I believe our bodies just kind of intuitively will find an ending point when they get what they need from the motion. And then float those feet up, and then we're going to open and close like a clam, and see if you can add some feet and ankle articulation into the mix. So kind of an open and a close, maintaining that floating position, and that top arm is kind of connecting down to the mat like a flying buttress. And then that top leg is going to extend, and we're going to take it into a bit of a bicycle pattern. So sweeping forward, folding the knee in, reaching back, and sweeping forward. Again, play around with the foot and ankle. Give yourself permission to find what feels best to you, and reverse the range of motion. Just keeping that leg nice and relaxed and sensing the air as though you're kind of licking the air with your leg, like your leg is a giant tongue. And thinking of the three-dimensionality of your leg, feeling that it's energized in every direction, then we're going to take it into a little bit of a beat pattern. So heel, heel to the front, toe, toe to the back. Your hip is rotated out and in, rotated out and in, and your torso is quiet and calm. If you notice that you're getting into any tension pattern in your upper body, make the range of motion much smaller and then give your hip a little bit of a rub saying, "Thank you for working. I appreciate everything that you do." And then we'll take that whole sequence on the other side. So go ahead and roll over, get your head supported. You want to make sure that you feel calm and relaxed in your upper body so the lower body can move, and take it into that kind of opening and closing book. Again, maybe 6 to 8. Noticing anything, and then floating those feet up and taking it into a clam and adding some feet and ankle play to it. How calm can you stay in your upper body so that you can articulate your lower body? And then let's take it into a bicycle pattern, sweeping, unfolding, sensing the space. If it helps, you can imagine that you're moving through water or clay. Giving yourself a little bit of resistance and sensory input to keep your movement organized can be helpful. And take it into that beat. Heel, heel, toe, toe. Heel, heel, toe, toe. Good. Finding all that spiral motion through the hip socket and the calm through the torso. And give yourself a little bit of a rub. Say thank you. Thank you for working. Backside of the hip socket. And roll to your back. I'm removing the head support because I take that back. We're going to keep the head support to begin with. We'll remove it in just a second. So first, just draw your knees in, and we're going to take it into some knee circles. So hands on your knees, and just allow your thigh bones to draw into you, open, away, and close. And again, maybe 6 to 8 repetitions. And reverse that circle, open and close. See how heavy, calm, and grounded you can stay in your torso. Those 3 main body weights are nice and relaxed. Your head, torso or rib cage, and pelvis. And then just hold one knee and stretch the other leg nice and long and bring it back home. And stretch it out nice and long and bring it home. And reach, only reach as far as you can go without disrupting the calm in your upper body. And take it down. Notice I'm doming my foot, which is a nice blend of a flexed foot and a pointed foot. So if I stood myself up, I would be standing on a beautifully supported arched foot. And let's take it into a little bit of an arm motion. It's like a ballet porte-bras. If you're not familiar, it's just some circular arms that come above your head, open wide, and then curve at the bottom. And then you can reverse that. Again, we're keeping all of those body weights really heavy. The head, the ribs, and the pelvis are super calm. And finding fluidity in the arms. And now we're going to remove our cushion because we're going to float our pelvis up, lift through that tailbone to crease and lower the hips. Tuck that tail under and float up. Pull that tail in the reverse direction and lower the hips. Again, tailbone comes under to float. And let's take it to one side, leading with one hip. So there's a little bit of spiral rotation, but my feet are still grounded. And take it to the other side. Floating one hip higher than the other. And you can play around there, Feel free to do as many or as few as you need to explore the motion till it makes sense to your body. And then just go ahead and stretch your legs out for a moment and roll on over to your tummy. Support your forehead under your hands, and we're going to just pick one leg and float it up and give it a little bit of a bounce. Again, still heavy through the core of the body, through the pelvis and the ribs and the head, supporting motion in the leg, and bounce the other side. And pick both up and give them a little bit of a flutter kick like you're swimming. Try and keep the knees gently extended and make it coming really from deep inside the hip sockets. And you can play with the width and rotation of your legs. Find a place that's comfy. And relax down. Go ahead and tuck your hands under your shoulders and just press into the floor really gently and push yourself up just as far as you can go without breaking in the spine, and then start to play around. Maybe your legs float up as well. Maybe your hands come off. Maybe they don't. Just make it your own, playing in a little bit of back extension in a way that feels good to you. Maybe the legs come off first, and then we're going to reach one arm forward and then the other. Just have a play. And if you start to feel unsupported in your spine at any moment, just lower yourself back down to the mat. And then push yourself all the way up. And we're going to bring ourselves around for just a little bit of an ending static stretch. So if you found that it was helpful and you had a block and a cushion, let's organize to that same place that we started. And we're just going to take a little bit of a stretch. Go ahead and bring your arm across your body and give it a hug. You can find a placement that feels best to you. Don't feel like you have to jam it into yourself. And then let's take it into a wrist stretch, fingertips down. And then bend that elbow and flip the wrist and see if you can open up the palm of the hand a little bit. And switch sides. Staying nice and calm, staying inside yourself. And take it into that fingertip down wrist stretch. And keep the elbows bent and flip the wrist. Take your fingertips behind your back if that's comfy, and just allow the weight of your head to circle around a bit. Explore both sides. And then come back to neutral and just rub your hands together one last time and give yourself a moment of calm. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and I will see you next time.